workshop 5 on regional development and cooperation. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Chen Shu for co-chairing with me this workshop. And when you speak about cooperation, you speak about the field of this cooperation. And if I sum up the discussion we had, I would repeat what you just heard, because we spoke about examples of cooperation and we spoke about a lot of things that was just summed up in the workshop just at the moment. So what I will try to focus on methodology of cooperation and regional development. First of all, participants agreed that we faced a common challenge, but we have to be aware and not ignore the differences between China and Europe. Examples were given, like the fact that in Europe the number of housing units rises by only 1% a year, when it rises by 20% in China. When we speak about new towns in China, we speak about almost 1 million inhabitants, when we speak about 100,000 in Europe. So this has to be put on the table, as has to be put on the table the differences in operating methods. Now, having said that, let's go forward and think the other way around. The scale is definitely not the same in many fields, but our cities face the same problems, same issues. They are the center of today's problem, and they also are the heart of the solutions. That means that examples show that the public policies affect directly the issue of sustainability, like land use regulation. Many examples were given, public transport policies, of course, but also everybody agreed that local authority leaders are the ones to gather all the stakeholders, public leaders, state leaders, and local leaders, business, and civil society. And it was agreed that public leaders, especially local authority leaders, owe to the citizens both fairness between generations, fairness between the different neighborhoods of our cities, fairness between rural areas and urban areas, and efficiency, especially focusing on innovation and gathering all stakeholders. Now, of course, the issue of knowing if European integration, European regional policy could be a model for regional cooperation, particularly in the Pearl River Delta, the cooperation between Guangdong, Hong Kong, and Macau. There was some expectation, both in terms of legal system integration and in terms of policies carried by the European level on energy consumption, in terms of standards for public services, in terms of sustainable economic local development, like green jobs, and we had examples also for in the cooperation in the Delta River. Example were given as Chinese traditional medicine or sustainable tourism. And the answers to this expectation was for everybody being aware that we must not see examples are as a top-down approach, but we can learn from each other. Europe can learn from the Delta River cooperation, as the Delta River can learn from the regional policy of our European Union. Now, when we speak about cooperation, of course, it's not only the example that we can show to each other in our regional cooperation, but we must also strengthen the cooperation between China and Europe, and how. And we go to recommendations. First, build an understanding with public actors, civil society, and business actors. Two, accept that it's not only a problem of capital transfer, technology transfer, but that we have together to change the vision, to change the mindset. And for sure, we suffer the same problem in Europe and in China, that our elite was trained for a world that does not really exist anymore, and that requires a big effort in training, as it was said just in the other reports. Strengthen the cooperation between China and Europe means also changing the way we see cooperation. Cooperation between Europe and China is not what we call a north-south cooperation. Well, first because it's more west-east cooperation, but mostly because we speak between equals. It's not a cooperation between a developed country and undeveloped country, but it's something more. And but it's also something more than attracting capital in sustainable development sectors. It's a process of common innovation and also of changing the governance. Finally, strengthen our cooperation by using our forum, our EU-China forum, building a dialogue with all stakeholders of both China and Europe sustainable development, and provide database of case studies, because we still have to invent in our forum a model of comprehensive partnership that allows going beyond a sole yearly meeting, but by building this continuous process that we need if we want to go forward on our cooperation. Thank you.
Friends, I must say, I'm very much impressed